Welcome back to the Free Hour. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Trevor Turner, back with another episode of the Free Hour ABCs, the ABCs of Tree. Today, man, we are on the letter V. Super powerful episode. We're going to be talking about victory. We're going to be talking about victory over challenges, victory over obstacles. And what we're going to be talking about in this video is basically just strategies for overcoming obstacles and then celebrating victories. One of the things that we like to forget about is we forget about celebrating victories in a healthy way. Either we get stuck celebrating those victories so long that we just get caught up in a loop of celebration and we forget to continue on, or we just look at these victories as meaningless because we look at everything as a stepping stone to the next thing, the next victory, the next goal, whatever the case. So we're going to talk about how to celebrate victories, what victories to celebrate. We're going to talk about how that should make us feel. And we're going to be talking about the growth mindset and SMART goals. Those are one of the things, two of the things, that actually really help me in overcoming challenges every day. All right. So let's dive into it. Let's talk about some of our common challenges that we're going to have to overcome every day. And for me, a lot of these things were internal. There were a lot of mental health issues, a lot of anxieties, a lot of childhood traumas. The challenges that I had to overcome were things that I could unpack on my own, right? But they were my default settings. There were a lot of the things that we talked about in the last video when we talked about unlearning. The only way that I was able to overcome my challenges was by realizing that I could get better, that I could be better, that the things that I were latching onto and holding on to were things that I could grow out of. And that's where we're going to get into the growth mindset. I know for a lot of other people, you are going to face those things that are internal, but you're also going to face things that are external. You're going to face, like, if you're trying to get into a new field, if you're trying to switch careers or trying to get onto a different ladder, you're going to face the professional obstacles. You're going to face personal if you're going through relationship issues or health issues. You're going to face like emotional issues that have to deal with other people, that have to deal with, maybe you got kids at home. Maybe you have a relationship that's crumbling around you. Maybe you have a relationship that just ended and you're trying to figure out how to fix yourself either for a new relationship or trying to figure out how to be alone. And those things are external challenges, but not to worry. These same mindset shifts that help with the internal also help with the internal. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that we can really influence, the only thing that we can really change, and the only thing that we can really do anything about is ourselves. Not how we feel, how we interact with the world, and how we push through all of these challenges. And that's where this growth mindset and that's where these SMART goals really come into play. So let's dive into it. But first, actually, one thing I would encourage you to do is to think about a challenge you're currently facing. Think about something that you currently are just bumping your head up against the wall against and write it down. And as we go through these strategies, as we go through these things, try to apply some of the things that we're talking about to that particular challenge. Okay? So first thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about mindset shift. We're going to talk about the importance of a positive mindset and resilience when it comes to victory over obstacles. And the first way we're going to do that, we're going to introduce Carol Dweck's concept of the growth mindset. And there's a lot of reading, so bear with me. Carol Dweck's concept of the growth mindset is a foundational theory in the field of psychology and education that emphasizes the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication, hard work, and perseverance. This contrasts with a fixed mindset where individuals believe that their talents and abilities are static and unchangeable. These are the type of people with a growth mindset believe that no matter what your level of talent, no matter how good you are at something as a kid, that you can always get better at it. People with a growth mindset believe that challenges that come and stop the person you are today in your tracks or slow the person you are today down will not, or you can become the person that can step over these things very easily. You are the person who can wade through these things very easily. You can become a more talented, more intelligent person over time. Fixed mindset people are the type of people who say, you know what, I was never good at math. I'll never be good at math. I was never good at this. I'll never be good at this. I was never athletic. I'll never be athletic. Fixed mindset people are the type of people who believe that you are going to be the type of person you're always going to be the type of person you were, like, let's say in high school or middle school. Because, you know, there are groups of people, there are cliques, there are types of people that either they were great in one area, they had weaknesses in another area. Like, for example, when I was a kid, you know, you had the athletes and you had the kids that liked other stuff. And those are the types of people with a fixed mindset believe that you can't be both. People with a fixed mindset believe that if you're not good at this, or you're uncoordinated, or you're not strong, like you can never be strong. Like you can never develop that. That's the things with a fixed mindset. The things with a growth mindset says that a person who has not traditionally been able to handle emotional setbacks or handle emotionally charged situations or handle things like breakups or handle things like their own anger or their own sadness in healthy ways. A growth mindset says that that person can learn to evolve, adapt, and change into a person that can develop those abilities, that can develop those skills, that can develop that emotional intelligence. That is a growth mindset. The first key tenet of a growth mindset is a belief in development. Individuals with a growth mindset believe that their most basic abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. They see talent as just the starting point and understand that effort leads to improvement. This is where the cliche, the hard work beats talent, comes into play, because there are people who are just supremely talented at the things that they do, and they don't get as far as the people who put in the work. Not to say that their talent started at the same place. Normally what happens is that people whose talent starts up here, they don't have that hard work ethic because people have drilled into them their talent. Oh, you're so talented. You're so good at this. You're just so naturally good at these things. These things come to you so effortlessly. And so they coast. Not that it's their fault. And then you see the people that work hard. You see the people, they call them the workhorses, the people who have the things that you can't teach, the people who have the ethic, and see how much farther they get. And of course, you see the people, when you put both of those things together, how far that they go. The second key tenet, you have an embrace of challenges. People with a growth mindset see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. They are more likely to take on difficult tasks and persist in the face of obstacles, understanding that struggle is a part of the learning process. Now, there was a couple quotes I'm going to share with you guys. There was one quote where I saw that entrepreneurs, the people who have an entrepreneur mindset, they will jump. Most people will build a plane. They'll stand on a cliff to build a plane and then try to fly off of that cliff. Entrepreneurs will jump off the cliff and build the plane on the way down. These are the people who will take on challenges head on, these people with a growth mindset. These are the people who will look at that mountain. They will look at that insurmountable obstacle. They will look at that thing that has been thwarting them for over the course of years and years, and they will say, you know what? I may not have been able to do it before, but if I keep on going, if I just keep on moving, if I just keep on working at it, that I can eventually get there. I may not be able to get there right now, but one day I can get there. Maybe one day is tomorrow. Maybe one day is next week. Maybe one day is next month. But eventually I'm going to be able to get there because I can grow. I can improve. I can get better. These people embrace challenges. They know that every no is a step closer to yes. Every failure is an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to get better. They know that every time you slip and fall, you learn more than when you quote unquote succeed. You learn more from failure than you do from success. And that leads into the third key tenet. They have persistence in the face of setbacks. Setbacks and failures are viewed not as indicators of lack of ability, but as opportunities to learn and grow. Individuals with a growth mindset are resilient and persistent, often using setbacks as a springboard for improvement. People with a growth mindset know. People with a growth mindset are the people, and everybody had a growth mindset at one point because nobody was born knowing how to ride a bike. You had to learn how to ride that bike. And a lot of us fell the first few times doing it. A lot of us couldn't do it without training wheels. A lot of us needed somebody to hold that back, and we were so scared of falling, so scared of getting hurt. And then we found out that when we did fall and get hurt, that it wasn't all that bad, that we could get back up on that bike and we could do this. We found out through failure how to do it better, how to do it right, how to do it the best. You can tell the people who've never fallen off because they're so timid and they're so cautious. You can tell the people who've never failed because they're so scared to jump into certain things. They're so scared to pull the trigger on their business ideas because they are so scared of failure, because they've never failed before. They've never come across those obstacles before. They don't know what to do when bad things happen. But the people who have embraced those setbacks, the people who have persistence in the face of everything trying to come against them, because they know they failed before. They know they've heard no before. They know that it's not that bad. And they know that this one might be the one where they hear that yes. They have that persistence, and they use the setbacks as the springboard for improvement. They use them as the learning opportunities that they really are. The fourth key tenet is they have value of effort. Effort is seen as a necessary component of mastery. People with a growth mindset value effort because it helps them to develop their abilities and achieve their goals. See, the people who don't have the value of effort, they look at their setbacks and failures as an indicator of their ability. But the people who value effort, they know that no matter how much ability you have, if you don't put in that effort, you're always going to fail. And even if you do put in that effort, sometimes it might be a learning experience, but they value that effort. They know that it takes effort. They know that it takes time. They know that it takes that putting in that work to get where you want to go. They know that it helps you to develop and achieve your goals. They know that mastery doesn't come naturally. Mastery comes over time. Mastery comes through repetition. Mastery comes through practice. They know that you have to do something over and over and over and over again. Even if you fail 100 times, you have to do it the 101st time, because you have to put in effort. You have to. Nobody deserves anything unless they put in that effort. And even if you do put in the effort, you don't deserve shit. You earn it. And that's the value of effort. The fifth key tenet, learning from criticism. Constructive criticism and feedback are viewed as valuable information that can help improve performance and foster growth. Individuals with a growth mindset use feedback to enhance their skills and strategies. Obviously, we're not talking about the people who are just saying some bullshit just to say some bullshit. Some people who are saying some shit that doesn't even make any fucking sense to what it is that you're trying to do. The people who are using, like, let's say you're trying to do what I'm doing, and you're trying to share your ideas and thoughts, and they come out there talking about your personal appearance, or they come about talking about this, that, whatever. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the people who have something to say that, if you will turn off your pride for a second, can actually help you get to where you're going. And a problem now that we have, and especially among my generation, is a little bit older generation. Like I was on the back end of millennials, or whatever the case, or the early end of millennials. I can't remember, but especially with us, like we can't take any type of criticism. If somebody says anything negative about what it is that we're trying to do, if somebody comes with and say, you know what, I see what you're trying to do. It might get better if you do it like this, or you know what, it's never going to get better if you don't try to switch this out, or if you don't try to do this better, or I saw somebody trying to do what you were trying to do and they tried this method. Why don't you try that method too? And we say, you know what, you just a hater. I'm going to do things the way I'm going to do things regardless, no matter what. We have to be able to learn from constructive criticism and feedback. We have to know that not everybody has it out against us. And I did talk about this in Unlearning, that there are going to be people who are going to try and get you off of your path, but you also have to know that there are going to be people on that path who know what it is to succeed and what it is you're trying to do. And they know that the things that you're doing haven't worked in the past. They know that the way that you're doing it hasn't worked in the past, so that they know that if they want to see you succeed, they have to tell you something. Don't make them so afraid to tell you something, because you can't take accountability for any of the things that you've been doing wrong in the past. It's like with me when I was doing my bullshit and people came to me and they told me like, hey man, you're kind of going off the rails. Hey man, you're kind of doing things wrong. You know what? There's a better way to go about doing this thing. And I said, you know what? Fuck all that. I ain't listening to nothing you have to say. And that is one of the main reasons that I did not grow, because I had that fixed mindset. I felt that I was already perfect. There was nothing you could tell me. There was nothing you needed to tell me. And that was a part of a fixed mindset, not a growth mindset. Because if you believe that you can grow, you believe that you can get better, you believe that somebody out there is probably further along the path than you, and you believe that if somebody comes and they tell you something about your methods, not about you as a person, not about you personally, but about the methods, about the actions, about your behaviors, about what it is you are doing, you have to believe that if you are to grow, you have to believe that those things can help you grow. And then the sixth tenet is to have inspiration from others' success. Rather than feeling threatened by the success of others, people with a growth mindset, they find inspiration and lessons in the achievements of others. They understand that success comes from hard work and learning, not from innate talent alone. You have to take a look at what other people are doing, and you have to be able to be happy for them. You have to be able to be happy enough for them to respect what they're doing, and also to be able not only to congratulate them, but to be able to learn from them. Because a lot of times we look at everything from a competitive mindset. We look at everything like there's so much scarcity in this world. Like there aren't enough people on this platform that if somebody else is talking about the same topic that I'm talking about and they're winning, I feel threatened by what it is that they're doing. Like there aren't enough people on this platform to come and turn around and watch what I'm watching too. Instead of me taking a look at what they're doing and say, okay, how do I draw inspiration from that? How do I get a strategy from what it is that they're doing so that we both can win? How can we both win? But instead, we want to feel intimidated. We want to feel threatened by it. We want to have that natural inclination to tear them down. Like there's an abundance of, like there's a scarcity of people nowadays. Like there's a scarcity of resources nowadays. And we are in this false impression because of the way that everything is distributed nowadays, that there is such a scarcity. There isn't. There's an abundance. And there's an abundance of people. There are an abundance of people that are going to watch you and me. There are an abundance of people that are going to pour money into your ideas just like they're going to pour money into other people's ideas. There's an abundance of people that are going to buy from your store and buy from somebody else's store. There are an abundance of people out there. That scarcity mindset is going to take you out of being able to get inspiration from other people's successes. Whether that inspiration is literally just the feeling of, okay, they got it, so that means I can get it too, and keep on moving. Because you say, damn, they got it before me, so that means I might as well give up. That's not having a growth mindset. It's having the fixed mindset. So to summarize, the growth mindset is a belief that intelligence and abilities can be developed. It embraces challenges and persists despite difficulties. It sees effort as a path to mastery and learns from criticism and is inspired by others' success. So next we're going to move on to goal setting. That's one of the strategies. We're going to talk about SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals to help you to overcome obstacles. So one of the things that you need to do when you're thinking about goals to overcome your obstacles, you need to get very specific. It helps to write things down. It helps to write things down about what it is that you want and then get even deeper into what it is that you want. What do you want that outcome to be? What do you want that outcome to look like? What do you want that outcome to come with? What do you want that outcome to be as specifically as possible? You want it to be measurable. You want it to be something that you can quantify. You want it to be something like kind of tangible that you can like know that like this is a measure of what it is that you're trying to get. Like for an example, and I always go back to Think and Grow Rich, because Think and Grow Rich is like for me, it was the start of knowing about SMART goals, because it tells you to think about exactly what you want specifically. It tells you to think about the amount that you want. It tells you to get measurable. It tells you to know exactly what it is you want and how much of it you want. And then it needs to be achievable. Achievable just means that it needs to be something that you know you can do. And see, the thing about achievable goals, when it comes to obstacles, after you have started to get victory on top of victory on top of victory, the mindset that you have for what becomes achievable will grow. Once you have adopted the growth mindset, the things that you consider to be achievable will always get bigger. So at the very beginning, you're going to say, okay, you know what? It's very specific. By this time, by this date, I want this to happen, exactly this. And it's very specific and it's very measurable. Like, okay, like I want my business to earn this amount of money in this amount of time by doing this by doing this type of commerce or business or whatever the case. And at the beginning, you'll say, you know what? We haven't done that yet. So I don't know if I can do this. As soon as that doubt comes in, it is no longer an achievable thing. After you've done that, after you've made that amount of money, you'll know that you can do it again. It becomes automatically achievable. It becomes a thing that it's not even something you have to think about. It's just achievable because you've already done it. And then after you go back and think about it and you say, okay, every quarter we've gone this much increase. We've had the profit margins increase by this much. Now when you say, okay, I want it to increase again by that much, achievable is not even something that you doubt because you know it can happen. So after the victories come, one on top of the other, the things that you will consider to be achievable will grow. And this is also where delusion can come into play, because if you have that delusional level of growth mindset, if you have that thing that says, you know what, I'm going to put in so much fucking effort, I'm going to put in so much effort to improve my talent, I'm going to put in so much effort to improve my mastery, that I will have exponential growth over and above what the normal timeline would look like, or what the normal results would look like. You can believe that it's achievable, and it helps you actually work towards those goals. Relevant is just that it needs to be something that is related to what it is that you're already doing or what it is that you're trying to do. Like if you're owning a business that sells lawnmowers, one of your SMART goals can't be that you're going to sell this many books, right? If you're not an author, or you're not trying to become an author, you can't tell yourself that one of my goals is all of a sudden I'm going to write 150 pages in 2 weeks. It's not relevant because it's not something that you are striving for and trying to do. Now, obviously, if you have that growth mindset and you know that you're trying to switch over to it, you can do something like that, but it has to be relevant to what it is that you're trying to do. Okay? It's just that simple. And then time bound. You have to have a deadline. You have to have a time to work towards getting this stuff done by. And it's that simple. And then when I talk about sharing SMART goals for me, when I talk about getting back, for me, it was getting back into school. For me, it was getting back into school by a certain time. For me, it was having a place to live by a certain time because I was going to be in school and working. For me, it was having transportation. For me, it was having, basically creating content on a weekly basis, having the equipment that I would need to create that. And I had that by like May of the year that I got released, which was this year, because I got released in March. And by May, I was going to have all of these things. By May, I was going to have a good enough camera. By May, I was going to have some editing software. By May, I was going to have, this lighting, whatever the case. By May, I was going to be having all of this content ready to go, created, and ready to be, recorded. So that helped me work towards it. That gave me something to shoot for. And that's why I was able to do it. If you don't put yourself on a timeline or a deadline and it's just indefinite, then guess when it'll be done? Indefinitely. You have to put yourself under that pressure to say that, you know what, I'm going to do this. Next, we're going to be talking about the importance of small wins. Celebrating small victories is super important for motivation. It's super important for morale. Sometimes celebrating those small wins is the only thing that's going to keep you going. Sometimes realizing that those small wins have piled up is the only thing that's going to make you feel like you can actually achieve these bigger things that you're trying to achieve. Because when I was locked up, that's when I started to learn about victory. Well, that's when I started to really learn about victory. Now, mind you, I had wins before. I had wins, I had achievements, I had all these other things. But this is where I actually started to learn about victory, about what wins really are, about how winning isn't only the finals. You don't have to be a world champion to be a winner, to have victories. Victories don't have to be huge. Getting up this morning when you didn't feel like it, when everything looked like it was crumbling around you, getting up this morning and saying, you know what? I'm going to take this day and I'm going to beat it. I'm going to take these emotions and I'm going to beat them. I'm going to take this alarm clock, that snooze button, and I'm going to beat that. I'm going to take this warm bed and I'm going to beat that. I'm going to get out of these sheets. I'm going to beat that. I'm going to say, you know what? This tiredness, this depression, this anxiety, everything that wants me to crawl back into that bed, or everything that wants me to just sit down and not go through the day to the best of my abilities, I'm going to beat that. Now, even if you didn't go through the day and come up with that $1 million idea, even if you didn't go through the day and get that new job, or even if you didn't go through the day and approach that person that you saw that you wanted to either network with, or that person that you wanted to approach on that other level, even if you didn't do all of those things, getting up out of bed was your victory. Getting up out of bed was your victory. Hitting the gym, that's your victory. Even if you didn't leave everything on the table, even if you didn't leave nothing in the tank, just going, that's a victory. Making that bed in the morning, that's a victory. Showing up every single day, that's a victory. And for me, writing a page, not even the whole book, not even the whole chapter. When you feel like you don't have time for nothing, when you feel like everything is just in a whirlwind, this frenetic pace, when everything is just like, damn, I got so much to do, but I still took the time to write that one page. I still took the time to get on here and record this video. I still took the time to write a little bit of an outline. I still took the time to text and call my moms. I still took the time. That's a victory. A win is a win. Waking up not hungover, not taking a drink, not using drugs for one more day. That's a victory, man. One more day. That's a victory. And it's a victory that should be celebrated. It's a victory you should be grateful for. You don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to have it all together to start celebrating victories. And here's the thing. What was it? The dude said, it don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile, you still win. Don't matter if you lose by an inch or a mile, you still lost. It doesn't matter if everything falls into place today. Getting up was a victory. Change that mindset. Change it. Every day that you're awake and above ground, that's a win. Every single day that you're awake and above ground is a win. Every single day that you didn't take your own life is a win. Every single day that you didn't let that depression knock you down, that's a win. Every single day you didn't let that anxiety keep you from going to work, that's a win. Every single day that you looked up something positive, that's a win. Every single day that you got up out of bed and you tried to get to the gym and you tried to trudge through on that treadmill and tried to do something about your health, that's a win. That is a win. That is a victory. I don't care what anybody else says. You don't have to have it all together. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to finish that marathon. You can just run that one lap. That's a win. It's a win, and it's a win that needs to be celebrated. Obviously, it's not a win that needs to be celebrated by going out and tying one on or getting loaded or doing anything like that. It's not a win where you need to reward yourself with a whole cake because you ran on the treadmill a little bit. But you need to know that every single thing you do is a win. Even when you lose, it's a win. It's a learning opportunity. And you have won valuable experience through your life. You have won knowledge of how to do things in the right way, or at least knowledge of how not to do things the next time around. It's a win. A win is a win, and you need to take it. Every step that you take is a win. Every day that you focus on what you want, that's a win. Every day that you don't accept anything less from yourself, that's a win. You don't have to receive the results. You just have to trust the process and stay your ass on that path. That's a win. That's a victory. So, we dove real deep today into what victories are. We dove real deep into the growth mindset. We dove real deep into celebrating little victories. We dove really deep into a lot of great stuff today. And I really want to thank you guys for watching. If you did watch, put some comments on here about any victories that you might have got, no matter how small they are. No matter how small they are. You approach that person that you like out on the street. That's a victory. I don't care if they said no. I don't care if they even yelled at you and tried to put you on the thing. Put you on social media, try to say you a creep. It's still a win, bro. Because, life is hard. Life is hard. Shit is hard. If your kid hugged you, said they love you, it's a win. You got to talk to your family. That's a win. Share with me your wins, man. Share with me your wins so we can celebrate these wins together. Celebrate the wins in your life. Celebrate the victories in your life. We talked about that. We talked about the growth mindset. Know that where you start now is not where you're going to end up. You can grow. You can grow. You can take where you're at now to a higher level. And one of the things that, they talk about this all day on these podcasts now. If you're a jock, pick up a book. If you're a nerd, start lifting weights. Because they say, a jack nerd is like unstoppable. The scariest thing in this world is a nigga with a library card. Like, educate yourself. You can learn. You can do better. Get in that gym. You can get stronger. You can get more athletic. You can look better. You can feel better. You can get healthier. You can do all of these things you want to do because you can grow. You're not stuck. You're not stuck. Okay? Just remember that. Celebrate the wins. Share with me your wins. Share this video with your friends if you want to. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, by the way, for we got 100 subscribers after the last video. Thank you so much. Like, that means a lot to me. Like, to know that there's 100 people out there who think what I have to say is worthwhile. Like, I know it may not seem like much to other people, but 100 people, I don't even talk to 100 people in a year. I mean, let's be honest. I talk to the same group of 5-10 people throughout the course of a year. So 100 people, that's a lot. That's a win. And I'm taking it as one. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Another episode of the Free Hour ABCs. Victories. See y'all next week. Also, man, I had a lot of work trips. I had a lot of stuff that I really want to talk to y'all about. So, man, stay tuned next week. I'm going to be coming out again with the 5 years from now video. I'm coming back out with it. And I might come out with, some more stuff. Now that I got time back from all these work trips and stuff, just back to regular work and school schedule. So fuck with me. All right? Deuces.